Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Women at Crushing It Wednesdays. I know you don't see my other girls on here. Nancy's going to be on here in a little while, and Nika is traveling the world, and she has some choppy internet service. So she may drop in, but she may not. But Nancy's going to be coming on soon. But I do have a guest host, L Dub from L Dub Boxing. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, Christine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I'll tell you what, we really got our fill this weekend of boxing. I mean, were you thoroughly satisfied with everything that was going on?
Yes, I was very satisfied. It was a lot of fights. It's a lot of different networks, and it was a lot of good action as well. I got a fight of the year candidate. Got a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I was excited.
Okay, so is it your own personal fight of the year candidate, or is it, or what? Did you hear something I haven't heard?
Well, no, it's my personal because Fundora and Lubin, that was back and forth, and it was so crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's right up there. I think it may last. It all depends on these other fights, but yeah, I think it's a good one.
Okay, so if you had your pick, then that's what it's going to be, the Fundora and Lubin.
I no, actually no. I still got Wood and Colin because it was a similar fight. It's just the
Mhm.
ending was so crazy to me. Well, I think Fundora and Lubin ranks right up there though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
You know.
was a good fight. Lee Grove says it took him 2 days to watch it. All good. Yeah, yeah, pretty much me too. Like, we'll talk about the Triple G fight, but that, like, definitely I had to watch that later because I was not awake. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not a true fan. I love Triple G, but I was sleeping. So there's been like some rumors and accusations that Fandora cheated. Did somebody just pull this out of the air, or do you think that there's some facts behind it?
No, it's unproven. You know, I know it wasn't drug testing for this fight. So I guess a lot of people is thinking something going on with that. And then the gloves, just based on how Lubin's face looked after the fight. But I mean, what I'm saying, the guy was getting hit with a lot of shots. So I mean, I ain't saying that that's impossible, but I mean,
Right.
getting hit with the same uppercut, same shots over and over,
Yeah,
that could do that to you with a 6'6"
absolutely.
guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy though. They unfounded. And it's kind of disrespectful to the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Because he put in a
Yeah.
lot of hard work. So if you don't really have proof, it's kind of wrong to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it kind of takes the value away from his win. It's like, he can't just like be a winner and get congratulated. There has to be somebody with this conspiracy theory. And it's so sad. Um, I've heard that he hits really hard. I mean, I know a guy in Dallas that has sparred him, and he's very heavy handed. So that's no surprise. Um, I think he did really good. I would love to see him extend his punches, but I'm not the only one that says that. But he got the job done. And then a lot of people said that after Lubin's loss to Charlo, he wasn't the same, but he had like 6 wins after that. 5 or 6 wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm. Right.
So it's like maybe he wasn't the same. I don't know what they saw or didn't see. What do you think about that? I mean, he had all these wins after that.
I thought he was back to form. Getting a
Yeah.
lot of experience as a young fighter, and he was a favorite going into the Fundora fight. He just probably stayed in the pocket a little bit too long against Fundora, and probably underestimated him, his strength, and his he crowds you, and you think that 6'6"
Yeah.
guy should have space, but he actually good on the inside. So that probably took a little bit by surprise. So yeah,
Well,
I thought Lubin actually fought with a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? He could have quit maybe 3 rounds before the fight got stopped, but he fought with a lot of heart, and he even dropped Fundora. So yeah,
yeah.
it was a great fight.
Exactly. Lee Grove says we boxing fans are conditioned to look for conspiracies around every corner and to question everything that we see. Skepticism is good, but skepticism is not. Some things are real. I agree. I totally agree. Just like it's so sad. Jamal Herring, thanks for tuning in, guys. Everybody, that was a grueling fight. Um, yeah, it's like there's all these conspiracy theories going around, even with a Diamante. The announcer, they were saying that, oh, there's no way he could have broken his back and then been right back to work. And it's like it's all these Twitter people and social media people, and then the poor guy, he doesn't have to, but he felt that he had to put all his pictures up, and show, no, look, I mean, I was really hurt. That's where we've come to, and I think it's ridiculous. What do you think about that?
That's true, because no matter what a fighter do or announcer now, you got to have proof with everything you do. They think it's extraordinary, and guys may have just a good night or a bad night, and then they feel like they got to prove it, and it's a lot of stuff going around, but it's like unproven facts, so nobody can really, say that it's the truth or not. So my
Right.
thing is, man, it's just I think it's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys can go through some stuff for real. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So we can't judge
exactly.
that and who was like, it don't even matter, like for real. Like if the guy was in a car accident or motorcycle accident, he came back. You know what I'm saying? Just thank God
Right.
for that. That's how I look at it.
Thank you. Can can
You know what
can
I'm
he
saying?
just be a walking miracle? Is that okay? Like, I
Right.
mean, can it not happen? Soapboxing podcast said, "Gotta quit kowtowing to fans who don't understand what happens in boxing." A kid is 6'6", the leverage landing 50% of his power, and he had about 80 punches. That's so true. I mean, that is going to damage anybody. And like you said, Lubin was in the pocket. He was taking those punches. He didn't step around. He didn't sidestep. He didn't do anything. He stayed there and he got pummeled.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Jamal Herring says social media will have you second guessing yourself if you feed into the nonsense. That's so true.
That's true.
It's funny, but it's true. And
Yep.
you're like, well, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that, and then you feel like you have to prove yourself, which
Mhm.
is horrible. I hate that it's like that. Hello, everybody, for thank you for tuning in. Fair play, both guys showed plenty of heart. Absolutely. Jemai Hurry says social media has better investigation than the FBI. They're still talking about the motorcycle accident. I know it's like old news. Like, let the guy win, let him succeed, let him live his life. He had to show personal pictures that it was nobody's business. You know,
Right.
but God bless him. You
Hmm.
know, and so Ryan Garcia versus Tego. What did you think about that fight? What did you think? What did you think about that fight? That's what I want to know.
I feel like Tay Gold ain't really come to win. I'm just being honest. Um, he was talking a lot of trash pre-fight, and he was on the back foot a lot, and he really wasn't trying to win. In my opinion, I thought Ryan could have did a little bit better as far as cutting the ring off and letting his jab go. He don't use his jab enough to me, and I think that can set up his hook. He can hook off the jab or throw some straight right hands off the jab, but he just looking for big power. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean it was a good. He got some good rounds in that fight. Tego is a top 10ish lightweight, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? He still needs some rounds around the ring for a while, over a year. So I'm not too critical of Ryan Garcia. I just want to see him stay active and less talking and more fighting. That's what I want to see.
So, Team Batman Boxing said Ryan looked very poor, though. A lot of people did say that. A lot of people did say that they weren't impressed. He still hasn't changed some of his flaws. Like, he's like still punchy from his chest, and his defense is not the greatest. Do you think that this long layoff affected him, or do you feel like this is who he is and that's what we're going to see?
Yeah, I think the layoff got to him, and I think he was looking for the knockout too much. He really didn't set nothing up. Had he did that, I think he probably would have got an early night. He would have had an early night and stuff like that. And Tego was very negative, so it's hard to stop a guy who is determined to survive. That's what I saw. So if you ain't doing the correct things to stop him, cutting the ring off, using your jab, being consistent to the body, stuff like that, they can help you land those power shots. Then you're gonna have a long night like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I have to say, I don't want to be critical of him because, I know that he was dealing with some things, and again, he went public to say that he was dealing with some mental issues, and he got criticism for that. So it's like I feel bad for that because that's nobody's business, and it's more common than we think it is. So I don't want to be too critical either. I just hope that we see more. I want to see a little bit more. I'm not sure if him changing camps was about the work that he wasn't physically getting, or if it was more of a mental thing. I was this the right move for him? Is it too early to tell? Those are some of the questions that that I'm wanting answered. But we'll have to wait and see. Do
Mhm.
you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, those good questions because getting with Goosen, he's an offensive coach, you know what I'm saying? And more so wants you to be an attacker. And you've seen that all night. And I think maybe he had too much pressure being with Eddie Reynoso, being around Canelo. That may be
Sure.
a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of
So
pressure.
so
Sure.
he, yeah, so it may take a fight or two to get him to the level where we want to see him at. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Ryan though. I think he can
I
fight.
like it
I
too.
just think
Yeah.
he need to. Yeah, I just want to see him put everything together and stay active. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so hopefully he learned from this performance and can bounce right back.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think that it's too early to say, whether it was a good move or not. I think it's going to be a good move. But yeah, I like him too. I want to see him win. I really do. He's been through a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Lee Groves brought up something that I wanted to talk about, and I just forgot because I didn't take notes. But about Kevin Cunningham stopping the fight. I thought that he did the right thing as well. It was like I was cringing watching, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this needs to end. And then right after that, we see ice being thrown at
Hmm.
him. Rumor has it that it was a Lubin's family, and rumor also has it that it also happened at the Charlo fight that they were throwing chairs.
Hmm.
I don't know. I wasn't there. Um, but I thought that the stoppage was warranted. It should have been stopped. Did you feel that it was maybe went on too long, or that it was the right time for it to be stopped?
I think it was a good stoppage. Actually, in the seventh round, I thought that was Fondora's best round, and
Uh huh.
he ended up getting clipped at the end of that round and got dropped. So after that, it was just one way action. So yeah, I'm good with the stoppage. It's unfortunate that the fans or whoever the team Lubin will act that way. Both occasions. Because I thought Lubin, he poured his heart out there in the ring. He
He
fought
did.
his tail off. So it's kind of unfortunate, but hopefully, I think what Kevin Cunningham did kind of save a couple of fights for Lubin. Because had
Sure.
it kept going on, maybe, let's say he got 3 fights left, or well, 5 fights left. Then maybe if he would have kept going, he may only have 3 fights left. So I
Right.
think that was a good stoppage, man. He's still young, he can come back, get everything together, and then hopefully we'll see him in some bigger fights.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sean, thank you. Shout out to you as well. Appreciate you. Yes, everybody like and subscribe. Team Batman Boxing, great stoppage. No need to keep taking that much punishment. Fedora can't get so much leverage with so little effort. Or it seemed he can just let his hands go all night. Yeah, I mean, he had like one speed and it was just go. It was like he wasn't up and down. It was just like he was just going, and it's like you said that, what if he had like five more fights and then he couldn't fight? Well, even just his life, it's like how many of these warriors have we seen that have died in the ring or from the after effects? We
Hmm.
don't need that. We don't need that for entertainment. We don't need to see a guy go out on a stretcher. That's just it's barbaric, you
Yep,
know.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Antonio Luna says Fedora versus Harrison next. Well, I mean, we did see Harrison win. That was the same night, right? There was so
Yep,
so much going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know what? Who knows? Who
yeah,
knows? And I think Harrison is back.
yep.
I think
He looked good.
he did look good. He
Hmm.
did look good. He's learned a lot. So maybe that is next. I think I would like to see that.
Hmm.
Most definitely. D Style Boxing, what's up? Hello, thank you everybody for tuning in. Lee Grove says it's up to the people around the fighter to stop the fight. Referee, doctors, chief seconds. The fighter shouldn't have to worry about that. Absolutely. The fighter has one thing on his mind, and that's to go in there and box to win. He doesn't have to worry about everything else. That is everybody else's job. So yeah, you're right on, Lee. Absolutely. Um, you know, and is there anything else you want to say about that fight?
No, I just hope both guys can recover, especially Lubin, and come back. Saying that was a tough fight. tough
Yes.
loss, but hopefully he can recover and all his injuries be cleared up. So I want to see him back in the ring if that's what he want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. I mean, I don't want it to I don't want it to be the end unless it medically has to be the end, you know. And God
Mhm.
willing, he didn't get injured that much.
Right,
God willing, it's just like, you know, it's going to be okay in a few weeks or whatever, and he's going to be ready to go. So
right.
that's what I hope too. You know, we saw Michaela Mayer versus Han. And I tell you what, the girl is on fire. Like
Mhm.
she is getting better and better. I mean, with Amadou, she did great, and then now with Han, I've known Han, not known, but like about her for many many years. And I've seen her fight, and I thought she was done, but she came back and she looked good. You know, I was like, okay, what is this Han gonna bring? She had some kids, she took off a while, but she brought it.
Mhm.
I was impressed with her. You know, what did you think about that fight?
That was a great performance by Michaela. You know, she
Yes.
hitting her stride. I think she's just touching her prime. You know, she's putting on some great performances, and I think the confidence she gained from the Hamadou's fight is taking her to another level. And she see the the light for the undisputed, so she want to maintain. What I'm saying, stay active and stay dominant. And Han is a good boxer, and she like stopped all of that, and she was taking it to Han, which that's what you're supposed to do to a boxer. You know what I'm saying? So Michaela, yeah, she is on fire, and I think it's going to keep gaining some steam as we get the big fights coming up for her in her division.
I do too. It's like, and that's what I mean. It's like Han came to fight and she came to give her the business, but Michaela had an answer for everything that she gave her. So I was just like, I mean, I was very impressed with the Amadouche fight. I was. That was excellent. I've seen Amadouche in Tokyo. I've seen her in other places, you know, over the world, and and I've seen her compete and seen her fight, and I knew that she was going to bring it. I knew that she was tough, and I was so impressed by Michaela. And then, but it's just like I said, she's just getting better and better. And with Han, Han brought it. Han came to give her the business, but she did. But Michaela answered every question. Like I am
Mhm.
so excited for her. You
Yep.
know, she's got great coaches, a great team around her, and I'm so excited. I know that there was something that came out today. Alicia Baumgarner was. I didn't get to see the interview because I was working all day. I don't know if you got to see it or not, but
I
where
missed it.
did you miss it?
I missed it.
The caption was something like, you know, that I was never offered the fight against Michaela or whatever, and then Michaela like had a rebuttal. So I'm really looking forward to going back and seeing what that is, because that fight, honey,
Hmm.
I would love to see that fight.
That
How about
promotion is
you?
gonna be crazy. That promotion will be crazy because both ladies can sell a fight. They're American fighters, so we can, they
Yeah,
relatable, and they got a lot of history. And I like how they go back and forth on Twitter. So
I do
of
too.
course, I would love to see it translate, in person and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be another firefight. Absolutely. Antonio Luna says De La Hoya needs to start getting fights for Sinisa. You know that was another thing that I wanted to talk about. Like, what do you think's going on? Like, people are asking her when her next fight's going to be. She said, "Well, you know, when I get paid for my worth," which of course she has every right to say that. I mean, absolutely. But what do you think's going on? Can you even like imagine?
Yeah, I'm thinking she looking at the other ladies and see they in different tax brackets, and she want to get in that same tax bracket because she's just as talented as the other ladies. So, and I know another thing, a lot of the ladies don't want to fight her in those divisions, so they want to price themselves out and stuff like that. So she want to get a bag and get stable too because I think she is one of the best pound for pound fighters in boxing. She's so exciting. She
Absolutely.
got big power for her weight division, and and she can sell a fight too.
Yeah.
I love her and Marlene. I know what they're
Yeah.
going
Oh my
through.
gosh.
I love
They're
it. I
gonna fight.
want right. I
They're gonna
want to
be
see it like 2 or 3 more times.
yes. If Sinisa gets the money that she wants, they're gonna fight again. Like I
Mhm,
could just see it. Absolutely. Do you think Mayer versus Baumgartner in 2022? I do. I hope so.
mhm.
I really do. Okay, so EC Life has told me 3 times that De La Hoya owes him 5 G's. He's like, he owes me. I don't know. I don't know what you did for him to owe you 5 G's, but I hope that he pays you. I really do. Maybe he's watching. Someone sent him a message. Sanisa Estrada was throwing shots at Marlén, throwing digs during the fight. Yes, she does. Like, so I was at a Golden Boy fight, and D-Style, what fight was I at? I forgot. I just get them all mixed up, but and there was like some real hate there. There was some real disdain for each other. And Sanisa has no problem telling her how she feels. So I know for sure there's going to be a number 2. I guess depending on how it goes, there'll be 3, 4, 5, like you said.
I love
Um,
it.
yeah, I love it too. We're seeing some great girl matchups, female matchups, and I love it. It's so good. Lee Grove says unification is on Sanisa's mind, and it's also on Marlén's mind. It won't happen until they can bring a wheelbarrow full of belts down the aisle during their ring walks. Yeah, I agree, and I think Sinisa wants a wheelbarrow full of money too,
Mhm.
which she deserves. I mean, why not? And I think you're right. L Dub, she's looking at these other ladies, and they're making all this money, and why not?
Right.
Why not? But I tell you what, that Marlén Esparza fight against okay, let me not chop her name up for your for Yorka
Fujioka, something like that.
Fujioka,
Yeah.
yes. Man, the girl was tough.
Yeah, she
The
was.
girl was tough.
That was a good fight.
It's like it almost looked like at the end when they were going to call the winner, um, that Marlén wasn't really sure that if she won or not. Did you see that too, or was I the only one?
Yeah, no, she looked like she was kind of lost some confidence with the decision. Maybe she thought Fujioka kind of edged it out. She didn't. She wasn't sure with the decision, but she got a wide scorecard. They had a card
Yes,
10 zip for her. That was crazy. I thought it was
that
more closer
was.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was closer than that too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I thought, and that's a problem that we see so much right now. In boxing, it's just like you almost wonder: is someone like saying, "Okay, guys, you know who's got to win tonight," or "Hey, guys,
Hmm.
that's my girl, that's my guy." It's like you wonder what's going on behind the scenes because sometimes some of these scorecards are just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" A blind man, a blind woman, a child, could tell you who who won and who didn't. You
Right.
know, what do you think? Do you think that there's like a talk before everything?
I think so. In some fights, they are. It seemed like it. It seemed like they already fill it out. You know what I'm saying, before the fight starts, and that's unfortunate because some of these fighters put in a lot of hard work. Well, all of them put in a lot of hard work, and for
Yeah,
them to get basically robbed on the scorecards because the judge is incompetent or just dirty. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah, yeah,
crazy to me.
yeah.
So they owe an explanation. They should be getting interviewed after every fight when you got a bad scorecard. That's what
I,
I believe.
I agree. I agree. Like, let's put them on blast. Let's ask them
Hmm.
questions. Like, let the media get to them and say, "Hey, what did you see? Like, what were you doing? Were you texting? Like, what's going on?" Yeah, long live boxing. That's what we're talking about. It was so, it was so bad. It was, and I'm with you. It was. I could see 6-4, but
Yep,
I don't
yep.
know.
I
It's
had that score too, 6-4.
yeah, I could see that too. When is De La Hoya going to give Jaime Munguia a chance at unification? I mean, that's a good question. I don't know.
I don't either.
I
He
don't
got
know.
he got to get one belt first to get a unification. So
Yeah, you know
I'm
what?
not sure.
You're right. Right. He's gonna have to set some things up, but I don't know if that he's the first guy on his mind. I don't know.
Right.
Scorecards are filled out the night before. Maybe
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, I think you should be a judge. Long live boxing. Absolutely. EC Life says they're a chain because De La Hoya won against Tito and Mosely, but he richer now. Tito and Mosely got exposure. Okay, I don't really know exactly what you mean by that, but
He really
okay.
want his money. He really want his
He
money.
said, "Give me my money." Somebody give this man De La Hoya's number so he can get
Right.
his money.
Right.
Good evening, Luis. Um, You know, I am a huge, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a huge, huge Triple G fan. Like I love him. Like I know he gets a lot of, I don't know, negative from people, and you know, people say this and that, and I'm sorry, but he won Canelo. He beat Canelo once, and Canelo beat him once. And yeah,
Mhm.
but that fight with Murata, like I dared to tell my husband Triple G's gonna win, and he's like, no way. They're in Tokyo. Murata is strong. He's big, you know, and there's no way. And I was like, oh, I don't. Oh, yes, he's gonna win. I just know he's gonna win. And then he won, and I
Mhm.
thought he won very convincingly, and he looks really good, especially at 40. What
Mhm.
did you think about that fight?
I thought he's. I think the first round he had a good first round, and then I thought Murata kind of took over. He was letting the harder shots, and he
Yeah,
was being more active. And Triple G started to look like he won't gonna make it. But then after the fourth round, it was all Triple G. It was a vintage performance after that. You know, yeah, he slowed down a lot, but he's still a fun fighter to watch. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Whatever they might say about him, he always fight. He always give a good fight. I never see him in a boring fight. So yeah, man, why not give him that last Canelo fight, man? Let him get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the fight's still gonna be fun. The first two fights was razor close. So
yeah, yeah.
maybe Canelo kind of got a bigger gap right now, but I still think it'll be a fun fight. So I want to see it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to see it. Like my guy, D Style Boxing, he said he looked aight. Nah, he looked
Mhm.
good. 40 years old. He's been through some wars. He's been through some wars, not just wars. He's been in wars with Canelo. Like the guy looked good. Like and Murata is a heavy hitter. He's you know he's big, he's long, and oh my god, you know he said if you got to add 40, then he was all right. Oh my girl Nancy's in the house. How you doing, girl?
Hey, hey everyone. I am so sorry to be tardy for the party here.
You're good.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey there.
Let
Hi,
me
how's
see.
everybody
Let me see.
doing?
What are we doing
Yeah.
here? Everybody's doing really, really well. Doing really. We were just talking about the Triple G. We've been talking about a lot of fights, but we were just talking about Triple G. What did you think about his performance? You know our guy D Style Boxing. He's got a lot to say about it. But what did you think about the fight?
I actually will share. I was loving the fact that the whole thing unfolded like it was a Rocky movie, just in terms of like the patriotism, like the songs, the music. The music that they both came out to, and their national anthems were amazing. Like
Yeah,
seriously, it it just seemed so. How can I like patriotic, but
yeah,
dramatic, but like in a cool way. So
yes.
I
They both
a
show us
lot of
pride,
respect between two
pride for the
fighters.
country. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. And they were just very soldier like, and the way that they were being respectful to each other, and to the point that it just I almost felt like I hope they don't show that much respect in the ring. you know
right, right, right.
and no, they both delivered. I think it was a really good fight. I think a really good performance. But here's the big but, right? um I just don't know, and I'll preface with saying that I actually really like Triple G too, but I just don't know that we saw enough to say that in a fight against Canelo, that we would see Triple G of past, because Triple G of present. And I don't know if it was because of his opponent, but I just didn't see what I felt I needed to see to think,
To
what,
warrant
he might
another
have a
fight.
chance. Yeah.
Well, I see what you're saying. Longley Boxer says Murata deserves more credit. I enjoyed it. No,
Yep.
he does deserve credit because, like I said before, he's a very hard hitter. He's very long. We saw him against Rob Brandt the first and the second, and yes, he does, and I give it to him, and that's why I'm saying that Triple G looks so damn good because Murata does deserve credit because he is a monster and he was on his soil and he was feeling his country and he had all of his people behind him. So yes, he does. And I if he fights Canelo again, do I think that it's going to be the way they were before? Like No, but does he deserve the third fight? Yeah, why not? And then you know what? Then he could bow out or whatever if he wants it.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants the fight, and if Canelo
Mm-hmm.
wants it, I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
It sounds like we're going to. Like I'll be very honest. Like I have not been on the side of, oh, I really want to see the third. No. Like I
Right,
can personally, I feel like
right.
I can do without it. But to your good point, do I feel like he deserves it, or has earned it? Sure. Like I'm at this point after the performance, I'm like, okay, sure. But I just don't know that I feel very confident that it'll be as close as the prior fights.
Right.
And do you know what I'm saying? I guess that's what
Yeah,
I was
sure.
trying to get to, is that I don't know if it'll be as close with the Triple G that we saw this weekend. But back to your other point too about the respect for Murata, like, yeah, 100%. And I do wonder, because we've seen it happen in other situations where, the fighter has the big kind of homecoming
Right.
fight, right? The most recent is Mikey Garcia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's this, and the pressure that comes with that,
Absolutely.
that might have impacted him some, especially with, like I said, just the entrance and the whole event unfolded like this, just big drama show for sure.
So my guy, he said, third fight is a joke. Whatever. Whatever.
Right.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It could be very entertaining. Uh,
Yep.
uh, glad you made it, Nancy. And
Thank you so much.
Easy Life says, tell Triple G I'll train him to win 3 more big fights. Hit me up. Yes, we are going to tell De La Hoya to hit you up because he owes you 5,000, and we are definitely going to tell Triple G to hit you up so you can train him. Luis Reyes says, will he be stopped? Your opinion. You know what? Honestly, I could see Triple G being stopped, but I could also see it going the distance because we saw him take some hellacious body shots. We saw him recover and then win. Um,
Yeah, like
and
I'll chime in with that.
yes,
To Luis's comment, like I want to be very clear. I don't suddenly think that Triple G is just going to go down and is like, it's over. And no, like, no, by any means. I'm not saying that at all. It won't be as close as before, but would it still be a good fight? It would. Do I want to see it
right,
again? Not necessarily. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes. But it's not going to go down where I suddenly think that, oh, he's just going to completely clobber Triple
right,
G. No, no, no.
right.
Like there was still a lot of, strength and, the mobility in the ring. There was still a lot of what we're used to seeing from Triple G in this fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. LW Antonio Luna said Triple G should fight Charlo next. Canelo is going to end this third fight a lot sooner than the last one. Do you think that he should Triple G? Would that be a good fight if he fought Charlo? Would you like to
Yeah,
see that?
I would like to see that. That's a good unification. 3 belts
Mm-hmm.
on the line. But I like the Canelo fight though. Because I like trilogies, and most of the trilogies, the third fight is always the most brutal fight. We seen the Wilder Fury,
Absolutely, I
right? We
agree.
seen
Yes,
Wilder Fury, even Bo Holyfield, Pacquiao Bradley. So those fights, the third fight seems to be more brutal to me. And sometimes that's something I would like to watch and see. I something I like to see, even though I love sweet science and stuff like that. But
yes.
sometimes it's an old fashioned fight. What I'm saying? It's always good for me too. So yeah, I want to see Triple G Canelo. Go ahead and get it out the way.
It's same. Tim Munoz's Triple G was breathing heavy early, but did turn it up after fourth. He was, and that's my point. He was breathing hard. He got hit with some nasty body shots, but what did he do? He turned it around. It's just something inside of him that will not let him, flounder or lay down. It's like he goes in there with the mindset that he's going to win, and he gets the job done. You know, so yeah, it's okay. Jose says Triple G is getting brutally stopped in the body if Canelo takes him to a distance. it will look bad on him. I don't even think that it would look bad because he has earned so much. The opportunities, the paydays, the right to be on a platform with Canelo. I mean, there's so many other ones that are just waiting in the wings to fight Canelo, but he's actually earned the right to have a trilogy, in my opinion.
I would be more interested. So if we had both fights in front of us, meaning Triple G Canelo and Triple G Charlo, I would be more interested in Charlo. Actually,
yeah.
I would be. Yep, I would be more interested in that one, or like that one alone, or perhaps before the Canelo Triple G.
Right.
For a lot of reasons, and that would be not just to on the Triple G side, but on the Charlo side. There's been so much talk that why not go up against Triple G to kind of, I don't know, can't think of the term, but to kind of prove, I'm ready for Canelo spot. I would want to see. I would want to see that. I would want to see that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would like to see it myself. I would. Long Live Boxing said, now what could change everyone's opinion? If Bivol beats Canelo, that would change everything on how the Triple G fight is viewed. Yeah.
I know. You know what? We do this so much, y'all. Like I'm guilty of it. Like and I try not to, but we think beyond the next fight.
Right. We do.
Little too much, because it's like, Sean's right. It's like, oh, by the way, he still has to fight people first. But, I think there's a lot of people might agree with me. I kind of feel like that's already a one situation. And that's why I'm already thinking ahead, but that's a good point. Like, way to bring me back to earth, right? Because
absolutely.
I do need to remember that.
Red is good said, whoever said Murata is not Godzilla is my idol. So D-Style, that would be you. You are his idol. Woo! Oh my gosh. Long in the Box says, hey, remember, no one wanted Pacquiao versus Marquez 4 either, and we got one of the most iconic fights in the last 20 years. I mean, it as
okay,
a
wait.
So you never know. Yes. Yes.
I wanted that though. I wanted that.
I definitely wanted that too.
So he's like, nobody wanted it. I'm like, okay, I'm that like 0.0001%. I wanted that one.
Did you want it, L-Dub? Did you want that fight?
At the time, I didn't want it because I wanted to see Pacquiao Mayweather, but I'm glad I got it though because it was a crazy knockout.
Yeah, absolutely. Slight Tendency said the big canard is the Triple G is avoiding Charlo and Andrade. I never believed that, especially when Charlo only fights bums. Ooh. I don't believe he's I don't believe that he's avoiding anybody. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
I think Triple G did in a sense. He could have fought those guys, but those guys, everybody got their own path, and we don't really know the behind the scenes stuff. Really, maybe they offered them the fight and they turned it down. We don't really know.
We don't.
But I just wish all those guys would have fought. Then we could have got some clarity. But boxing is boxing. It is what it is.
That's true.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to when people say ducking, right? I'm like, okay, we need to go into that a bit because first of all, defining ducking, and it's hard to do when we don't have everything we need in front of us from a contract standpoint, right? So if the fighter was offered a contract and we know that it was terms that were appetizing, right, and satisfying to that fighter, and the fighter still says no, right? I think in those circumstances, then you can say, okay, he's possibly ducking, right? But
everything has to be right. I mean, the money, the timing, everything has to be right.
Right.
And I've given some, I've given Huggable a hard time. But I will say this though, I will high five and hats off that he just signed to make things happen with Kambosos, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need to see more of. And especially because he did disclose, hey, there was a lot not in our favor. We didn't get a lot of things we wanted, but you still signed. So to me, with that, you know, you're not ducking, right? Because you did everything in your power.
Do you think it was pressure from social media and all the things that are being said about him, or do you think he just really is like, no, I want to fight him and I'll take less money or whatever, like, or would he have rather, you know, fought somebody else? Like, was it the pressure of the media, do y'all think?
You talking about Haney? With Haney?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think it was some pressure too from both ways because that was the fight that we wanted to see to clear up this undisputed mess at 135. I thought the franchise title kind of, you know, blurred the lines, a lot of stuff. So I think he felt pressure to let me go ahead and just take the deal because I said I was going to take the Lomachenko deal. I know it won't. It's not the exact same deal because it's more fights, but he still took less money than he would have got in on the zone. So I'm glad he did it because that sets a precedent for these other guys and to make the big fights. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we need. Because you know, like we said, we always want to look ahead with fights. So part of doing that, we want to see if these fights gonna get made. So he took a step in the right direction by proving that these fights can get made. If we maybe take less money and sign a co-promotional deal, and we can get it done.
That's true.
Well said. Yeah, well said, and I agree with that. Yeah, that's exactly.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And another good point, Red is good, says if these fighters had more belief in themselves, they would take the challenges. I think so too, because the money will come. The money will come if you fight these guys. You know, if you can beat them, and you know you can beat them, fight them. You know.
Yes, and fans are watching. So fans are watching when these types of situations happen. You know, as Red pointed out, fans are watching, and you win over the fans, right? So I'm trying to think of like an example. I don't know. Rosado. I don't know if he's the best example, but you know, you take note of the fighters, you know, that will take on the fight, and clearly have the confidence in themselves. You know, aren't just out to protect that. Oh, you know, they're kind of beyond that. You know, and I think, you know, some boxing fans will respect that.
I thought Kell Brook gained a lot of respect when he took on Triple G when Triple G was the boogeyman. And
he sure did.
And then right after that, he went and fought Errol Spence, who was up and coming at the time.
Did.
A lot of guys when they did that, they would just fought Triple G, then went and got some easy work. So I give him a lot of props, and he gained a lot of respect from the fans.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll use myself, you know, Christine. I'll use myself as an example. You know, back to Haney. You know, he had already slightly won me over with the fact that he returned your charger.
Right. I was like, he was so nice.
Yep. So I'm like, okay. And then now with what he did to make Kambosos happen, I'm like, all right, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Red said Kell shouldn't have fought Triple G. Ooh, somebody's hating. Okay, now let me tell you the fight that I was impressed with. I really was, and shame on me, maybe, was Shane Mosely Jr. and Gabe Rosado. I really was.
Yep.
I would tell you why, because I have seen Shane Mosely before he went pro in the amateurs and like going to nationals and stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, this poor guy, you know, he's so nice and he's so, you know, likable, but he's just not his dad, and not that he should be his dad, but he was very far removed from the talent that his dad had, and then I saw his, you know, pro debut and I was just like really worried about him. So when I heard that, you know, he was going to fight Rosado, I was like, oh my gosh, Rosado's a killer. I mean, he's proven himself. He does not stop. He is a warrior. But I was so impressed with Mosely Jr. What do y'all think about that fight?
I mean, that was a great performance, and I'm like you too. I felt like he always been missing something. I can't put my finger on it. He's a good athlete, good boxer, but it seemed like he put it all together that night. And shout out to his coach Bones Adams. I mean, they had a perfect game plan. and he had him ready to fight. So he was hurting Rosado. So maybe the extra weight moving up to 168 actually helped him. You know what I'm saying? We never know. But he looked good, and then he opened up the opportunity to have some bigger fights. So that's good for him, man. I was rooting for him as well because you always want to, because the dad and stuff like that, you want to
Right. I
always,
know, and I do that too. I
right.
hate it.
So yeah, I'm glad he kind of coming out of his own. That's a big win for him. He needed that.
I thought he looked
Yeah.
amazing.
He looks so good. I also remember his pro debut and thinking, oh, this is going to be rough. Not that I was like, oh, he's not a good fighter. No, no, no. He was just, a good fighter. Like along with, nothing was like really standing out. In other words, right? Yeah, like it wasn't. It was there, right?
Yeah.
It was like a meet in terms of performance. Like not exceptional, not low performing.
Yeah.
It was just like a meet, right?
Yeah.
So I too was like, wow, on this fight. And first of all, I think everybody knows in the chat knows I'm always rooting for Rosado. I'm just a fan.
Yeah,
me
too.
That warrior spirit, leave it in the ring. I mean, he just won me over. So of course I was rooting for him. But here's what happened. So towards the end, when you saw that Rosado was kind of doing a tease there, right? I think he was like trying to play with him. You saw Mosely, like he just lit up, right? Yeah. Like he lit up. And you know what it reminded me of about AJ always, or as he's been talking about, oh, the dog in me. I need to work with a coach that brings out the dog.
Uh-huh.
What we saw in the ring, that is what he's looking for. And it came out in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And so if we see more of that coming out of Mosely, he's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was always a fan just because he was so nice and so polite. And I was just like, I really wish that, he would just, do better. And I would root for him. And then now it's just like, oh my gosh, he's just, come full circle. He looked amazing. I was so impressed. And I feel bad for Rosado. I do, because his whole boxing career has just been kind of hit or miss, and he's such a warrior and he is talented. But I was very happy, with the performance.
I was too. Yeah, I'm gonna want to watch him again.
Yeah.
But what he might need to work on is how does he turn that on without the need for someone to get him to that place, right?
Yeah.
like
how does he get himself to that mentally?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. How do you without the need of the opponent? Because it could have, for Rosado, it backfired because he thought, I'm going to, tease him and it's going to frustrate him, right? And it didn't. So now other opponents know, okay, that's not going to work on him, right? But for Mosely, how does he get there without that?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Long Live Boxing said, I know Mosely Jr. Rosado didn't deserve to get booed. Do better, San Antonio fight fans. You know what? I did not know that. I don't know why. I didn't hear that. Did y'all hear the booing?
Yeah, I heard it.
Why?
They was booing.
Why were people booing?
I don't know. It was kind of a tactical fight, but I thought Mosley was doing well, so I don't know. I thought it was a good fight to me.
Well, San Antonio, look, my people, we got the Mexicans over there, so it's like they want to see that Mexican style. They want to see in your face and this and that. But you know what? It's not always about that. It was technical and it was good and I loved it. And no, they didn't deserve to get booed. That's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I don't know what I did. I didn't notice that. But hearing that is disappointing. But I think what does tend to also happen is you have a lot of different types of boxing fans that attend these fights. A lot of them are not going to be the boxing heads like the three of us in the chat, right? A lot of them are just kind of there to, in this case, root for their raza, and they're thinking Rosado is raza, and that's who they're going to root for, and
that's fair.
So
yeah, that's true. That's true. And Red said Gabe never disappoints. He's an Emmanuel Augustus type. Whereas his record is very deceiving. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like anybody that fights him, they're in for it. They're gonna have their hands full for sure. Twin Munoz says, pertaining to this week's fights, I am very interested in seeing Butev. Okay. And okay, somebody pronounce this for me.
Buteyev versus Stanionis.
Yes, thank you. Can't really decide who I think takes it. What do you guys think?
That's a hell of a fight. I think it's 50-50, but I see some keys to victory for both guys. But Buteyev seems to be more versatile to me. He's a bigger guy, strong, and I thought when he switched to southpaw in his last fight versus Jamal James, that actually won him the fight when he started digging to the body, throwing different angles and stuff like that. So I actually think he's going to win a decision. But I think Stanionis is going to come to fight. He got a good jab and he's strong as well. So I think it's gonna be a tactical type of battle, but I think Buteo wins.
Jamal
Yep,
James'
same.
brother
Yeah.
is actually here in camp with me. He's one of the coaches.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Yes, long live boxing. Do you have issues keeping track of all the cards? Yes, I do. It is a good problem to have. Yeah, it is, but it is kind of stressful. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
It's stressful, but I think what we have so far, and I don't want to jinx it, I think everybody will come blame Nancy if this happens. But last year we had some pretty awful undercards. Like it was, we were paying $80 for fights that just had not. I'm not saying every fight, right? But
Yeah.
we just, I think, as fans, weren't getting really our money's worth. And so far, there's a lot of boxing, and it's been some pretty good fights and undercards. So,
Yeah.
if this continues, yes, I'm okay with having this problem.
No, absolutely. And speaking of good cards and good fights, I mean, we've got something this weekend. I mean,
Mhm.
Errol Spence and Ugas. Man, like my family is going, my friends are going. I'm here, which I love being here, but it's just like, man, that's gonna be a good fight. What are y'all's predictions?
I love the fight, Spencer Ugas. I like Spencer win the fight. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I think he might start off kind of tentative, just because the eye. That's just what I see. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll get back to form the way he was before. I think Ugas is tricky. Good counter puncher, and he do well against southpaw. So it's a very good fight to watch. But I think Spence down the stretch will probably pick up the pace and win a decision, like 8 rounds to 4, something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. What do you think, Nancy?
Yep. Well, first, I will say the heartache I feel being so close, and not looking like I'll be able to attend that.
Oh, it's
I
like you can
know.
reach out and touch it.
It's one of those, but I know there'll be plenty others that I'll be able to attend. But it'll be such a good fight for all the reasons shared. I'm definitely rooting for EJ in this one, and he is coming in. We talked about this just now. The hometown situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is that hometown situation. I know that he's been making his rounds. Christine, you and I saw him at the Royal Rounds
Yes. Yes.
event, and he was there with his little girl, just seemed very, very relaxed. And I think that kind of shows us, the Earl that we're getting in the weekend, and he is going to be in front of the hometown. There's that pressure, but I think he's got this. I really think he's got this.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I think there are some people that are underestimating Ugas. But I do think that he will come out with a win. Brandon Calhoun thinks that Errol will win 12 rounds by decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but I wonder what the scorecards are going to look like.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And I'm with Brandon on that too, because it is, I do feel it'll be a good fight and a close fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people are underestimating Ugas. What I would say is, definitely go back, and watch some of his fights. He really is a good matchup for Earl, and I think it's going to be it's going to be a good fight in terms of exchanges, right? It's not going to be a boring fight
At all. No.
at all, right? So, yep, I can't wait.
Yep.
Eldeb, are you happy that he's fighting Ugas like straight out the gate after everything it's gone on with him, with his the surgery, the eye surgery, the wreck, the eye surgery, everything?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I like the fight, because Ugas been on a real hot streak. Like sometimes he been on a hot streak. I forgot that he lost to Porter because I thought he won the fight.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
fight. Of course, I just want the winner to fight Bud. You know what I'm saying, so we can get this undisputed
Yes.
situation finalized. So, but
Yes.
first things first, we gotta get through Saturday. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course,
Like we said, let's get to this one first, and
yes,
then we'll
let's
I
get
get
know.
to
Here
through
we
it.
go again.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love it though. I love the fight, and I think it's gonna be a good one. Like I think it's gonna be a real good one.
Yep,
I do
and Red
too.
is right. Red is right. Like he's like on the nail right there because Ugas is going to come in really strong and he's going to be
Uh-huh.
tough early because that's going to be,
Uh-huh.
EJ's time to just, kind of get the bearings, lay of the land.
I
He's
agree. I agree
and
too.
that's a good thing, especially
Yeah.
because of his situation. Like that's okay. So I really, really hope that it just takes that first round or two, and then it's out the gate with him.
Am I the only one that was curious? And there's been some speculation, but I don't like to look into things too deeply. But am I the only one that was wondering what EJ's tweet meant when he said that PBC needs to take the L out of Lover? Like, does anybody have any ideas of what he was trying to say?
I thought he was talking about Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman came out earlier that day and was talking about they got to go see him and he still feel like he's the man in the division. So I thought that was about Keith, but I'm
Okay.
not even sure. Those subliminals was crazy. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, 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 yeah. They
I
are
have no
crazy.
idea.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Like I really have no clue. But if someone in the chat can explain it, because my guess would also be that it was Keith related.
I bet nobody like really knows exactly. I mean, I saw some people that were saying, "Oh, are Errol and PBC, having some issues? Is something going on? So it was like nobody really knows clearly. And you know what? Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it
Maybe.
was nothing. Maybe it was to do exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah,
To
I
talk
know,
about it.
right?
You know?
Oh, yes. Boxing Twitter, the Twitter novellas. Yep.
Yes.
We'll roll with it if you give it to us.
Yeah. Exactly.
conspiracy theories. You remember we talked about that earlier.
Oh
Then
yeah.
we searching
And that's
for it.
me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Red, I'm not that hip. Maybe L Dub or Nancy can explain to me what you talk about. 9/11 is a joke. The great Flavor Flav.
Oh yeah, that's Flavor Flav's song back in the day. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not touching it. Long Live Boxing said it'll be a good fight. I just don't or want any controversy for Spence against Ugas.
Yes.
We don't need any more blaming our beloved state of Texas.
I
3
know.
bad scorecards and knockout would be nice. Oh my gosh. You
I
know
know.
what? You read
So
my
I
mind. We
know.
get such a bad rap always.
I know. And just this weekend, yet again. So gosh, I really hope not. I hope that it's just a very clear, clean win and the scorecards reflect that. I really do hope so. Yeah.
And people will say Texas is amazing. Bring more fights here.
Right.
That's what I want to hear. That's exactly. It's 9/11. Oh, it's 9. Oh yeah, it's 9/11, not 9/11. Yeah, yes, I remember that song, Red. Yes, but you had it like 9/11. I'm like, I'm not touching
Flavor
anything about
Flav.
9/11. Not doing it. Yes. Okay.
Hey,
I know
hey,
now.
he mentions Flavor Flav, and now forever that makes me think of Nico, knowing that he's his godfather.
I know, right? When I saw him at the weigh-ins, I was just like, "Whoa, okay, it's Flavor Flav, and he looks exactly the same. He didn't change."
Fountain of youth, that man, like
I'm saying,
unbelievable.
like whatever he's drinking, I need it. Shoot. So another thing that I saw on Twitter, yes, get up, get that now. Yes, joking your attack. Yes, yes, I remember now. Thank you. Jojo Diaz being accused of showing his body parts or sending pictures of his body parts to minors. What the hell's going on? Did y'all see any of that?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the transcript from the lawyer and stuff like that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Because JoJo didn't. It's hard to read these fighters. JoJo didn't seem like that type of fighter or that type of
Right.
person. but you never know. So man, it's unfortunate. I hope everything is, if he did it, then hopefully he get, get the, whatever that's coming
Right.
to him. But ah, man, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Because as a boxing fan, you don't want to see that because
No,
it's just, this hurt our sport even more. But we'll see what happens with it. It's crazy
yeah,
to talk about.
it's true. And then, but and then I saw, here we go with the rumors and the Twitter. And then somebody else had mentioned that, Ryan Garcia had done the same thing. Like his girl that he was with, he showed her publicly or showed affection to her publicly when she turned 18, but that they had their relationship before that, and it's like, why is, I don't even know exactly how old the people were that Jojo Diaz was talking to or whatever. And I just hope that it's not kids, but, I don't know, but it's just like, why was Ryan Garcia not,
It's so
judged the
sensitive.
same way?
Yep. It's just so sensitive. It's such a sensitive topic, all around. And Christine, you and I have talked about this before. Like
Yeah.
You just have to wish the best for both parties, that there's healing,
Yes.
and that there is a way out in terms of, coming out of the situation, on the brighter's not the term to use, on the better side for both, right? With the healing,
Right.
with the support, that they have their network to support them through these situations on both ends, because,
Right.
we're
We don't know the full
there's
story,
right there's two families affected here, right? There's two.
absolutely.
It's not just
And
two
that's what
individuals.
Lee
There's two
said. Choose
families.
wisely. Yeah, exactly. Choose sides wisely, or don't even choose a side. Just wait till the facts come out.
Right.
You know, um, like Red said, boxing Twitter owes David Diamante a huge apology. We were just talking about that at the beginning of the show, LW and
Hmm.
I. And it's just like, yeah, it's like he had to show his personal pictures, his intimate moments with his girl, her laying by his side in the hospital for people to shut up and stop talking about.
It's just
You know,
unbelievable.
it
Yeah.
is. It really is. Yeah, but I'm sure Lisa and those who should apologize probably won't. You're right.
Yeah.
It probably won't. But
It goes. I'll say this on that topic though, that well, and not just on the topic with JoJo's particular situation, but just in the management of your brand. You know, um, you have to make sure that if you have the resources, to have people help you, through things and decisions, right? You got to keep in mind their brand is their livelihood. So,
yeah,
have the people around you that will guide you to say that is probably not a relationship you want to pursue for
Mhm.
these reasons, right?
yeah. If
I
they
don't know.
even know, like if they even know, and sometimes I think they don't, But I don't know. You're right. Yeah, I mean, they need to have people around them that are going to be, you know, guiding them in the right direction.
Yep.
Absolutely. That in a perfect world, that would be amazing. And I hope that more people start paying attention. For sure.
Mhm.
But before we like take off, I just wanted to know, so what is a fight, L Dub, that you're looking forward to the most? The first thing that pops into your mind.
Charlo and Castano too. I love that fight. I love the first one, and I'm glad they making it happen again. They got a lot of stuff on the line with Undisputed. I love that fight. I'm thinking about going down there to Carson to see that. So
You
yeah,
should.
that's the first fight. Yep.
Absolutely. What about you, Nancy? What's the first fight that comes to your mind? You're just like, yeah,
Like that I want to happen.
or this happening that you're excited to
Oh,
watch. Yeah.
that's happening. Yes, I want to see that Castaño rematch. I really, really do. And it's a bit loaded because of the whole Charlo brothers situation. Like I want
Oh
to
my
see that again.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I think everybody will kind of see the theme here with me wanting them to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, that'll be a good fight. And I said it before the initial fight, Castaño, don't sleep on this guy, we saw what he's capable of. Do I feel coming into this fight that Charlona has a bit of an edge? Yes, because now he knows how to better prepare and he knows what to do. But I'm still not sleeping on Castaño. I think this is going to be a really, really good fight.
Yep. I think it's going to be a good fight too, and Long Live Boxing also agrees with you. But I have to agree with Luis Reyes, because this is, to me, this fight between Serrano and Katie is going to absolutely make history as the biggest female matchup to date, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I believe that there is going to be many to follow. So that's the one I'm looking forward to. I really am.
That's a great one too. That's a great one.
That is right up there too. Yeah, that is. Yep, that is right up there too. I agree with that. And I wish that we were seeing more. We saw a lot of promotion, like in the first initial announcement. I wish that it wouldn't lose that momentum leading up to it. I feel like it kind of has. And to be honest, I think that's why it wasn't top of mind for me to mention it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. And we do have to keep these fights fresh in the mind. We do. I think a lot of times the ball is dropped. Absolutely. But I'm super excited about that one. And then Lance Mayer said so many good fights on the schedule. Yes, we are being spoiled, and I love it. Keep spoiling me. Keep spoiling me. So everybody, thank you so much, L-Dub, for coming on. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, and keep up with the things that you're doing in the boxing world.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, L Does Boxing. That's one. And then Twitter, @OverJ. Feel free to hit me up behind the scenes or just add me or follow me. It's all good. I also have a YouTube channel, L Does Boxing, where I do, prediction breakdowns. I go over the rankings and stuff like that. So feel free to tap in over there as well. And, I just like to go behind the scenes and figure out stuff and drop news or guests or whatever. So I'm just a hardcore boxing fan that love the sport of boxing and love the news that come out in the sport of boxing and love the fights most especially. So that's me. So feel free to tap in with me on my social media, and I appreciate you for having me. It was good. And Nancy, that was the second time man you've been on the panel together. So that's always a pleasure. So salute to you.
I know. Likewise, that's what I was gonna say, and I just want everybody to know, you've always just been a great supporter, engaging in the chat, and we're so grateful for that, and it just makes this, also fun. So yes, I'm excited that we're, sitting at the table together more.
Yeah, nice.
L-Dub Lee Grove says, "What's your Twitter handle again?"
It's @OverJ. I will put it in the chat for you.
Okay, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, definitely. And I was so glad that we had talked before, and you had some things going on, so you couldn't come on the show. But it was such a pleasure that I actually got to meet you in Vegas, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
So that was great. And Nancy, my girl, we just always have a great time on the show.
Thank you so much.
So tell everybody where they can find you, Miss Nancy.
All right, Boxing Republic. That's going to be Facebook. That's going to be Instagram and Twitter. No YouTube as of yet, but you can always catch me here with the lovely and beautiful Christine, in the ring with Christine, every Wednesday. Women crushing it Wednesday. I want to thank everybody on the chat, and shout out to D-Style. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the HCP show yesterday, and apologies for being, like I said, tardy to the party right now, but
you're great.
This is my therapy, y'all. This is my therapy. So
Same.
I love that we're in this together as boxing fans.
Absolutely. And thank you all for tuning in. Everybody subscribe, like, and share. And we hope to see you on next Wednesday. We love to love you all. Thank you. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See you guys.